Hello, dear ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the day after plus 26. 26. This is the music radio S2. S2. These protests in the US caused by the death of black fellow reminded me on the similar protests that took place in 1991. Sometimes I believe it was also June. May, June. June. That was June, definitely. Probably this is a convenient month for making protests in the US. Guess so. Or it's a pure coincidence. But that protests, I believe, were fatal for Serbia. Actually, the protests in the LA. Probably most of them were in the LA, if I'm not mistaken. What happened? Up until that moment, US was pretty much on the Serbian side as far as the Yugoslav conflict is concerned. The conflict did not start in terms of it was about to explode. Actually, it was just about to explode. The Slovenian conflict already took place, if I recall correctly, and it was just about to explode in Croatia and Bosnia, Croatia. And what happened? Our president back then, Slobodan Milosevic, he had some really fatal, at the end it was also fatal for him, political decisions. As I said, the US was pretty much in favor of having the Yugoslavia staying as a whole, and they knew that Serbia is being the biggest of all republics, is the guarantor of such. So they were quite supportive. They didn't show it, but at least they didn't even show any negativity with regards to Serbs. And I was back then. I remember I was returning from Belgrade by bus. I was living in Jagodina back then, and I just went to the Faculty of Economy. I was enrolled, and I took my index, which is a student ID practically. And I was then returning to Jagodina, my hometown. And there was a radio, on the bus, and we were listening to the radio, and I believe prior to that, Slobodan Milosevic, without being triggered by anything, he said that he is supportive to the protest, to the black protests in the LA. Nobody asked him what is his opinion, nor anybody cared about his opinion about the protests, but he thought it would be, probably he didn't think it would be wise to say it, but because it could not be wise anyhow, but he just said it publicly. And if I recall correctly, from that moment on, I don't know if that was the main reason or only a side reason, but it was one of the reasons, definitely. The US politics against the Serbs changed radically, and then we had all these events that followed, that are everything but favorable to Serbs. I remember it very well because it stayed in my mind that I said, wow, this is not good. Just declaring, who are we to say anything about whether these protests were justified and rightful or not? Who asked you to? I mean, yeah. Although, I mean, my opinion about him was not, I mean, as negative as the perception of the most of the Western Hemisphere. That one was pretty much fatal error, I mean, mistake of his. And then we ended up in a bloody war, and with Americans being on the sides of everybody else but Serbs. Yeah, this is what I wanted to share with you. There was definitely one moment which practically changed the stance of the US with regards to the Yugoslav conflict to be. I mean, conflict, yeah, political, yes, definitely, but at that time it was not yet a military conflict. I mean, or the Slovenia was already. I cannot recall now right now when exactly it happened, because yeah, that 91 was really. Okay, that much for now. Bear with me. I mean, if you like these my philosophical monologues, I don't know how else to explain it. You can. I would not object if you like my videos. Even if you subscribed, I would definitely not object. If you commented positively, I would also not object. If you commented negatively, yeah, this is your right to do. If your comment is valid, I will say, yeah, you're right. I mean, probably. Never mind. Thank you very much for watching, and stay with me.